so I had to abandon the original plan to try and do a lesson one day yesterday. My wee boy wasn't feeling too well with the heat, so back into Alicante this morning, or this afternoon, this evening, what time is it? 46 at night, it's still 35 degrees, it is ridiculously warm. I'm heading up to MH Games, which is like a retro gaming type store. And then I'm going to go walk down a couple of TCG and collector shops, hopefully finish up with CEX. And then head back. And just got to run and finish off this vlog. So hopefully next time you see me, it'll be at GameCube. First stop on day 2 in Alicante is MH Games, the only dedicated retro game shop that I could find in the city of Alicante. A wee look in the window, nothing really jumping out here, but when we head inside we do see a hell of a collection of retro games, including Xbox 360, Dreamcast, Mega Drive and Sega Saturn. And here we have a nice wall of Nintendo Wii games as well. Plenty of box consoles in decent condition, a hell of a lot of Nintendo Switches on display as well, and you'll notice throughout this vlog I'm talking about the one that I won for free on Whatnot the week before. Usual figurines, that Finn Balor very nearly made its way home with me, however I was worried about damaging the suitcase. I will say the early 2000s, GameCube, PlayStation 2 and Dreamcast were really well represented in this shop. The PS4 wall was a little underwhelming and just seemed to be full of the usual stuff that we see, but on the PS3 wall there is some big time games sticking out. And of course it wouldn't be a vlog if I didn't pick up a copy of Can I Meet It and at least look at it for a couple of seconds. A lot of PlayStation classics, but a good few proper copies in there, and most importantly, no dirty cover reprints. But after 10 minutes in MH Games, it's time to head back to me on the streets of Alicante. That was actually a decent wee shop. Certainly a lot better than yesterday's CEX, which was very tech heavy, remember? And I'm just going to head to CEX in City Centre in Alicante just now, and I'm going to finish up and something that hopefully you've seen a few weeks ago on TikTok and YouTube vlog, but probably the thing I'm most excited for, or the area I'm most excited for. With that being said, in that shop there wasn't anything. I did quite fancy the Finn Balor figurine with the kill in the background. For the podcast and stuff, but we're kind of in a situation where the risk is some lads he's damaged taking it home on the flight, because we are flying Ryanair obviously, or it gets damaged when I'm moving, and I'm very aware that I don't want to add stuff to my pile of shit that's now in storage, because even though I feel as though I'm mentioning this in every little video we're doing, at some point I'm actually going to have to move house, can't just keep talking about it. And hopefully by the time this vlog's out, that's actually happened. So a decent stock, nothing that jumped out. A couple of things in the cabinets that were at least interesting. I've seen a lollipop chainsaw game there, I think it was. I don't know a lot about them. I don't know if it was one of these games that were so bad and discontinued them, and that's why they're popular, or that's why they're expensive, because I've seen a few people talking about them in vlogs recently. And ultimately my kind of target in there was either one of the grails, which I say grail, might look, everybody knows, I think I mentioned it in the last 5 or 6 vlogs that I'm trying to get the Sleeping Dogs and the Xbox One in as nice a condition as I can get, which I'm really super struggling with. And the other thing might have been something for the Switch, because I've got one sitting at home that got delivered when I was on holiday. The original Switch, it was a buyer's giveaway and whatnot. So freebie, do the job, but my worry is that I just think, I looked at the prices and I'm like, maybe it's just me, I'm pretty sure I've seen them cheaper back home, some of the games. So it's like, again, okay, it might be cool. If I see something really interesting, it might be cool to pick up and say, right, cool, I bought a game. I really don't want to have an entire vlog. I can't say this place is awesome, but I bought absolutely nothing. Because no doubt Craig's roasting me right now, having done the exact same thing in Birmingham. a couple of months back. That being said, where I'm finishing the vlog up, and this is the reason I come back to Alicante today, I was looking at TCG shops, and one I wanted to go to couldn't get yesterday because of siesta. I did that Mana Vortex, which as you've seen was ridiculously good. Like, as with a lot of TCG shops back home, yeah, they've got the cafe, and they've got the tables and stuff set up for playing the games, but to actually have beers on tap, which is something that you do not see back home. Where I'm heading has, I want to go to Goblin Trader, and if you look at Google Maps you realise there's like, in this one street there's like 5 shops that are all comic books, TCG type things, collectibles. So like I said, I'm hoping to stick on a shot as I'm filming the vlog, and then hopefully I'll encourage some of you guys to come and join us in the full thing. So next stop will be CEX. I'd imagine it'll be quick because I don't think it'll be much different for the one up in the shopping centre yesterday, and I'll see you guys there. CEX number 2 of the trip. Already looking at the window and already going tech heavy, but that does look much bigger in there. Although, if you look at what's in the window, that's not boding well. Why is there a Luke Wilson fucking DVD for €52? I feel like I should bring some of my stuff at home over here and trade in, because I'll probably get more for it. PGI Osmo, Gimbal. That Craig keeps sending me stuff like that to try and pick up. Although, for him to watch his deep Pokémon stuff, this guy uses like a two-handed thing, which is follow there and go. Couple of graphics cards. Consoles at the bottom, which is interesting. They seem expensive, the Switches do as well. It's like a shame of Switch. So that is just all phones, all tech, iPads and stuff. Keyboard. Just the usual tech in the bottom. RGB mic switch model for €55. Never seen one back home. For sure, USB mic again, never seen one before. No idea how that compares to a Steam Deck, but for €800 I'd be expecting quite a lot of it. And we've got, oh, Game Boy Advances, Mario and Zelda. Never seen them back home anywhere. Mini NES. Some decent Game Boy stuff. Spiral for €8. Legend of Legala. Hopefully Ross will tell me something about that. I'm going to assume that's got a normal English game. Or is that a Spanish game? €135 though. Project Zero, Project Zero 2 and Project Zero 3. All at the same place. Dragon Ball Z, Budokai, well, €48 at the back, Evil Dead. I mean, this is actually decent for Contra. This is just decent for retro. And that's all a lot of PlayStation type stuff, and then getting Nintendo Switches and whatnot. It's our first master for the PC. There we go. Radiant Historia, Perfect Chronology. €130. I have no idea. I've never seen half these games before. Back home, I just don't see these games at all. And CEXs are in retro shops. I mean, there's the Pokémon games for the Switch, which, again, never owned one. Literally getting home to open it. If anyone wants to recommend anything for the Switch, the original Switch, not the Switch 2, let me know, because I'm going to need some stuff to play on it if I'm going to at least get my money's worth. I'm sure it's all PAL, so all the UK games will be able to play over here. Dragon Ball, Crash Bandicoot.
también siempre decirte que hace mucho tiempo, ahora que estoy ya, digamos, cerca de la liberada, después de meses, luego sentarnos en algún sitio a las próximas
It's the Xbox Series X, the Xbox One. I know it was terrible. About 10 games. On the 360, it's a slightly better collection, but it's definitely it's the old cat. Like €18 for the most expensive games. So I've got 15 quid. There's some 20, €60 for these supposed to be most wanted. I'm sure I've seen that higher price, but that should I have in a cabinet for €60? Or am I just stupid? Or shouldn't it be €60? And then some OG Xbox games as well up in the top corner there. Again, nothing really worth writing home about. Oh look, Ross has just picked this up. Actually a decent knack for the case. Although that's not a sticker. So does that mean it's a reprinted case then for CEX in Spain? I might check up on my games to see if that's the case. Because that's interesting. Pick this one random. So let's get a standard barcode. €22 for the PS2 version, the most wanted, but it is that classics. But I'm interested to see if any of these are. Is that a reprinted case? Is that what that means? Maybe it's just some games are reprints and that's how they show them over here rather than having the big dirty triangle, but then add a very, very close, they'll probably made a mistake there. Metal Gear Solid, let's see. Maybe it's just some games, maybe it's just cover reprints and that's how they show them. Now, I did miss this on my first pass, but I would like to know what folks' thoughts are on it, because I'm hearing it's a great game to get into, especially like in the JRPG games, but I'm feeling it's supposed to be absolutely brilliant. Good cast, good acting, good everything, but I've just noticed Time Crisis is really remastered, so there's some decent games on the shelves, price-wise, which is weird, because these are the types of games with Dragon's Dogma as well, which is quite a nice case, which might look really good on the shelf back home. So there is quite a bit of value on the shelves, which is unusual. Certainly back home, I'd expect to be behind cabinets. I almost missed this in the road, I went on the other side, but a huge PS5 and PS4 wall. Last of Us at €45. Again, there's quite a lot of value. I mean, I've seen Astrobot behind the counter in the other CEX. It's a clear obscura again. So they have quite a bit of money sitting out. Like, maybe I'm just thinking back to what we see back home where every game's either a 5 or a 10 or £100 and there's nothing in between, but I guess there's 2K25 sitting out for 60, but that's just a brand new game at full price. I know they didn't have any Xbox, but I do wonder if, knowing my luck once again, we'll have Sleeping Dogs on the PS4. Does not look like it. Right, so you'd have seen all the clips, and I don't know if it'll be music or a voiceover, we'll figure that out in post. Maybe a wee bit of both. I always tried to get as much comment as I could through as much of it as possible. We'll do a pickup. I'll do full pickups at the end, either back at the villa tonight or when I'm back home at the weekend. But I did pick up that Narcos game, Rise of the Cartels. I had no idea why. TV show was good, but it's weirdly a game I've never seen. And I did quick Google it. The actual reviews and the kind of ratings seem pretty decent. Now, granted, it was on my VPN was on at the time, so I'm getting the Spanish reviews, and no doubt the whole game will probably be in Spanish, which is why I've never seen it. But €15, 13 odd quid, looks the part. I'm just heading down now to hit a couple of TCG and comic book shops. And hopefully there's some wave in the background. And here's hoping that this is the reason I come back into Alicante. Here's hoping this actually works out as planned. I'll see you guys down there. For those that saw on TikTok a couple weeks ago, shop number 1. I am once again back in post-production here with another voiceover, and I'm just going to talk you through what I picked up on this street. This was basically 5 or 6 collectors and comic book shops, all within about 200 yards of each other, or about 160 metres for our European brethren. Now, I didn't actually pick it up in this shop, mostly pop Funkos and usual collector stuff that you see kind of about in just about any shop that sells this stuff, but I've never seen such a high concentration of this type of stuff in one place. I'm just going to let the video play, show you what's in shop number 1, and then we'll head on to shop number 2. And once again, take me head back through the streets of Alicante. Pretty decent in there, in terms of TCG stuff, all over Kana. Nothing for Pokémon, but there's another shop with the same names. I don't know if it's a different part of it, what people got in here. Same name, different shop. I guess it was just part of the same company. Let's see what's going here. Yep, I think you figured out the plan for this part of the video. You're going to enjoy some energetic funk in the background whilst I tell you what I saw in the shops. This was a ridiculous concentration of anime, manga and other Japanese artefacts, shall we say, including the stuff that we can't show on YouTube due to guidelines. Type of shop that some sort of Spanish version of Editor Craig is going to be having the time of his life every weekend, spending every last penny he has. Now, the interesting thing that I found out in this shop, as you're looking at some sealed TCG Pokemon stuff, is that the girl behind the counter told me they can't sell single cards. So if anybody knows why, or if that's a Spanish-wide thing, or if that's just a shop thing, let me know. What was evident throughout my time in Alicante on day 2 here was that there were a lot of people actually playing trading card games and tabletop games, and I don't know if that's the reason why. Other side of the shop is just wall-to-wall manga and print. And honestly, just something that I've never seen this much in one place. The only place I've seen ever came close was the big HMV in Birmingham. Next door to this shop, we did to one of these sort of trainer reseller shops, and they had some ETBs in the window at massively scalped prices. Hey, Goblin Trader, one of the reasons I come back in this morning, or today, see if we can pick up in here. Again, I think this is one of these shops that's a lot tabletop and actual gaming. But here's hoping it was worth the drive back in. It's a Goblin Trader, very much a bit like Battle Gaming back in Birmingham. Tabletop, Warhammer, staying here. A lot of Warhammer, like 4 full-size Warhammer tables and 2 of them been set up for gaming. Might exclude that for the video, but at the same time, if that's your thing, the tabletop stuff, then it's worthwhile. 2 last places to go, Comic City and Henio, which is the one I'm really excited about. For the final time, it's some more energetic funk on this vlog, and we are speedrunning these last 2 shops. First up was Ateneo, which was the busiest shop that I was in the entire time I was in Alicante. The sheer amount of stock that they had was unbelievable, including this Japanese Pokemon card vending machine. Usual type of stuff on the wall units with collectibles, plushies, etc. But an absolute sea of books, manga, comics, everything. This place was just wall to wall with collectible products for nerds. The only disappointment I had in this shop was that some Spanish guy bought the last Gengar t-shirt in an XL right before I walked in, and I couldn't even get a picture of it because it was absolutely cracking. Typical Pop Funko wall, not many. Try to be really careful at this point because the place was filling up with school kids coming in to sit and actually play. Huge fan of some of these artworks. More collectibles, more of the usual stuff. Some non-Pokémon TCG, a hell of a lot of Magic the Gathering. And after a tenio, it was over to Comic City for a final speedrun through this shop. I have never seen this many comic books in one place, genuinely. This place was absolutely stocked. I'm sure in my original voiceover live at the time, I did quote that this would be Spanish Craig's heaven. And when I'm being brutally honest, these types of shops are a little bit wasted on me. Number one, I've never been massively into comic books. Let me know in the comments if something I should get into. And reason number two is I don't actually speak Spanish very well, therefore buying a Spanish book would be completely pointless. Even more Warhammer. Again, this street in Alicante was just packed with tabletop gaming. It's almost that time for the last time in this vlog. Head back to the streets of Alicante in July for my closing thoughts on Alicante for Nerds. So obviously I might do a pickups back at the house or the villa later on tonight. But you should have seen the only thing I've picked up has been that Narcos game for the Xbox. Now I'll just wrap the vlog up there and I'll say, I think from a TCG point of view, from actually gameplay, tabletop stuff, this place is insane. Especially that Mana Vortex yesterday with the bar and everything. The stuff in the town centre there is kind of full of kids getting in after school ready to play. Sealed stuff isn't too bad. Spanish, obviously, you saw in Mana Vortex a lot of sealed English, like most of the English I've seen back home. But in terms of singles, there's none. I spoke to one of the staff in one of the stores. Obviously she's Spanish, trying to speak English, I'm English, trying to use the 3 words of Spanish that I know. And she said you weren't allowed, you don't understand. But that makes sense, there's no singles anywhere. So from a TCG trading card point of view, certainly tabletop play, amazing, unreal. But what you better see in the vlog is, apart from Mana Vortex, a lot of the sealed product is the same stuff that is still available in the UK, such as our promo sets that aren't sealed, don't seem to be too desirable. On the flip side, retro gaming stuff, and I know I only went to a couple of CEXs, I went to one game and I went to MH Games earlier on. Fine, okay, the big CEX had some older stuff in the city, but nothing serious. Like the retro collecting stuff definitely seems to be more popular store-wise in the UK. Now I don't know if that's going to do with the fact that we have markets and stuff in Spain, folks go and sell their stuff there. I don't know, but I'm interested to know if that's normal or if it's just better in other cities. But that being said, I'll end it here. Take it easy guys, I'll catch you in the next one.